Hi guys, welcome to Just Trying to Help a Sister Out, the video series where I talk to the women about what's on the minds of men. And since I've been doing Just Trying to Help a Sister Out, every now and again people send me suggestions and recommendations of topics and things I should review. But never have I received so many recommendations or suggestions as I have for the Netflix show Love is Blind. A lot of you sent in requests or hit me up in the DMs and said I should review this show or I should at least watch it. For those of you who don't know, Love is Blind is a show on Netflix that premiered on February 13th. It was an instant hit, to say the least. And the summary of it, or the synopsis essentially, is that a group of men and women are given the task of meeting each other, falling in love, getting engaged, moving in together, and getting married in that sequence in the space of about 6 or 7 weeks. Now, the real catch is, for that first week, they do not see each other as they're getting to know each other. They have these speed dating things in these things called pods in a special facility for that first week. And in that first week, you have to fall in love and get engaged. And that's the whole premise or idea behind the show, or what they called an experiment. And really, it is an experiment to see if you can actually fall in love and select your life partner and take out the physical element out of it without you knowing what they look like, so that we'll see how much of a role physical attraction or just the physical aspects of a relationship play in marriage or in a relationship. Special shout out to my friends Bemini and Itoha, who suggested that I watch the show. I think they mentioned it to me a number of times, especially Itoha. She kept on hitting me up in the group chat, have you watched the show? Have you watched the show? Have you watched the show? So shout out to them. And in this video, I'm not going to be reviewing the show per se. I'm going to be talking about the lessons I learned from each of the 5 couples that made it out of the first week or the first stage of the show. And those are Lauren and Cameron, Damien and Gigi, Barnett and Amber, Jessica and Mark, and my favorite couple, Kelly and Kenny. And at the end of the video, I think I'll share my thoughts on whether or not I think Love is Blind and the role that physical attraction plays in relationships or in selecting a life partner. Now, the first couple I want to look at is Lauren and Cameron, a lot of people's favorite couple on the show. And the lesson I learned from them was the expression of feelings. Cameron and Lauren were incredibly open and expressive with their emotions, both verbally and physically. Cameron was very, very touchy-feely, very, very hands-on. They were incredibly open with one another, and I think it played a huge role in the success of their relationship and them making all the way. I'm sure, if you've been following the show even loosely, you will know that they're married till today. And I think it was largely based on their ability to express themselves and to say what was really on their minds and what they came into that experience for. And a lot of women were swooning over Cameron, not in the house, but even people that watched on the outside. And they were wondering, or wishing that they had a man like Cameron. And to be honest, I don't think in this part of the world that a lot of women are ready or would be ready for a guy like Cameron. A guy who is that much in touch with his emotions, who is incredibly expressive, and who is that open. I don't think a lot of women here in Africa are used to it. And it's a bit jarring. And Lauren even said as much. She wasn't used to a man being so open and being so just bare about his intentions and his love and affection for her. And yeah, so while a lot of women feel like they want a guy like Cameron, I'm not sure if they really, really do want a guy like Cameron, if they'd be able to handle him and the emotions. But he was an awesome guy. I do give him that. And Lauren too, she was really open. She was awesome as well. She's very quirky, heart on her sleeve. But yeah, that's what I learned from Cameron and Lauren, expressing emotions and feelings. Now, the next couple I want to talk about is Amber and Barnett. And the lesson I learned from their relationship was how money changes the way you look at people. And I'll explain. Amber and Barnett in the pod, when they're in the house, the first week or first episode, second episode, they were really into each other. And I was actually rooting for Amber because at that point, Barnett was a superstar. He was, a lot of girls found him attractive, and he had a tough time deciding between Jessica, Amber, and LC. Ultimately, he went with Amber, and I was rooting for Amber, so I was cool with that. But further down the road on the show, it was revealed that Amber had some serious student loan debt and shopping debt as well. And she never even finished or completed college. And she didn't really have a plan in terms of working to pay off or to pay down those loans. So to me, while I was rooting for Amber at the beginning, further down the road on the show, when I realized that she had this huge student loan debt, I started wondering if Amber was all over Barnett and really interested in him and wanting to marry him so that she could turn him into this knight in shining armor who would marry her, keep her as a housewife, and then help her pay off her student loan debt and whatnot. So it really did change the way I saw Amber. And it made me think of when is the right time to bring up something that serious, something as serious as crippling student loan debt in a relationship. Because if I was Barnett, I would have liked to have had that information in the first week when they're still doing the pod dating thing, to know that, hey, I have some huge student loans, so that he would know beforehand. Because at the end of the day, him finding out when they had moved in, him finding out then made it feel like she was trying to trap him, to me. And he was, he was too far gone, and for him to have backed out at that point in time would have made him look like a bad guy, and she was really into him, which is another thing. Even though Barnett proposed to Amber, it really felt like Amber wanted the marriage much, much more than Barnett did. And again, it made me feel like it was part of the whole heist or the whole scam for her to find this knight in shining armor who would marry her and help her pay off her student loan debt. Anyway, so that's the lesson that I took from their relationship. How money and things revolving around money can change the way you see the person that you're in a relationship with or about to get into a relationship with. The next couple I want to talk about is Mark and Jessica. And the lesson I learned from their relationship was go for your type and what you want. Date the kind of person that you want to date. Try not to settle. Jessica has always dated older guys and she prefers her men being older. And she's the type of woman who will find it hard to be in a relationship with a younger man. And as we all know, for those of you who watched, there was a 10-year gap between Mark and Jessica. And it was a serious issue, and she said as much, but Mark was convinced that, hey, love will lead the way and love conquers all and everything. And, and she, I don't know what her mindset was, whether she believed that, they could overcome that hurdle or she could overcome that hurdle. She went along with it. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it was their undoing. I don't think Jessica ever got beyond that age difference. She kept on mentioning it several times on the show, throughout the show, and so did Mark. And it was, I think, both their faults. She shouldn't have, She shouldn't have compromised and gone for a younger man, knowing fully well that she's not into younger guys. And Mark as well, as a man and as the one, asking a woman to marry him, he shouldn't have gone into a relationship, with that caveat, with knowing that this woman prefers this, because it will be an uphill task to try and get her to change her mindset on that particular issue. So yeah, but anyway, that's the lesson I took from Mark and Jessica's relationship. Try and go for what you want. Go for your type or your spec, as we say here in Nigeria. Gigi and Damien. Gigi and Damien were an interesting couple. Gigi is an interesting woman. She's a type. It seems like we all know a Gigi or two in our lives. And, girls who are a bit flaky, a bit all over the place, a bit impulsive, a bit loud. I don't know, people who just take what they want and act how they want, irrespective of the consequences. And yeah, and Damien, I think the real issue with Gigi and Damien's, I didn't even say what I learned from their relationship. I think what I learned or took away from their relationship is you should always know what you're going into when it comes to relationships, and also know what your policy on crazy is. Because there's some people that can comfortably date crazy men or crazy women, and there's some people who, once they see a sign of crazy, like me, we're out of there. We do the moonwalk, we ghost, because us and crazy, we do not go together. So know what your policy on crazy is. They're two very different people. I think in the real world, without the cameras and without the reality show aspect of it all, Gigi and Damien could actually date. I don't know if they'd actually get married, but they would actually date. Damien is a reserved, or seemed like a reserved, cool-headed guy, while Gigi is a bit, like I said, a bit of a wild girl. And those two types of people, they pair up all the time. But because of the nature of the show and the fact that they have to get engaged and get married, Damien took a very serious approach to their relationship, while Gigi just remained very, hey, girls just want to have fun type of outlook to the whole thing. And that kind of drove Damien up the wall. And as the show progressed, he was understanding Gigi a lot better and understanding her crazy. And I think it was an issue of, while he felt like he could date her and have fun with Gigi, I don't think he could ultimately marry her or see himself going down the aisle with Gigi at that stage, because Gigi is a woman with so many layers and you need lots of time to unravel all those layers to find out who she is fundamentally, so that you can figure out how to handle her crazy, if you're willing to stick around to handle Gigi's crazy. But yeah, they were a very interesting couple. And then there was my favorite couple, Kelly and Kenny. And what I took from their relationship was the fact that there's a difference between loving someone and being in love with someone. And that kind of threw me for a loop, because what I'm about to say will actually allude to my conclusion on the whole Love is Blind experiment, and if it's actually possible to be in love with someone that you've never seen before. I was of the opinion that, and I was saying it while I was watching the show, I was telling it to people that if you can be physically attracted to someone and not love them, because that happens all the time, you can be physically attracted to somebody but not love them, you can also love someone but not be physically attracted to them. Does that make sense? And I said this to my friend Theodora, and she pointed out, and she agreed with me that yes, you can actually love someone but not be physically attracted to them, but she herself, Theodora, cannot be in love with someone that she's not physically attracted to. And that kind of blew my mind, because that means that there's fundamentally a difference between loving someone and being in love with someone. Because I agreed, while I feel like I can actually love someone but not be physically attracted to them, I don't think I can be in love with someone that I am not physically attracted to. So she was right. And that's what I learned from Kelly and Kenny's relationship. Things were going so well with Kelly and Kenny up until like the penultimate episode, when Kelly said, that she's into brunettes and Kenny is not really her type, and that just, it broke my heart. And I was really rooting for them. They're a cute couple. Kenny is a fantastic guy. The episode where their parents or their families met each other, their families clicked instantly. And, it looked as if it was in the bag that, they're ultimately going to end up together. Sorry, spoiler alert, they didn't end up together. So yeah, that kind of hurt. And it was basically because Kelly felt like Kenny really wasn't her type physically. She said that she sees him more as a best friend, and she loves him as a best friend, but she doesn't love him in that romantic way. And yeah, that really did, it got me. But yeah, that was a lesson I took from Kelly and Kenny's relationship, that you can love someone but not be in love with them, as silly as it sounds. So, in conclusion, is love blind? It's certainly a compelling argument and a fantastic social experiment. The show was a fantastic social experiment, but as I said earlier, while I feel it's possible to love someone without physical attraction playing a role, I'm not sure if it's possible to be in love with someone and not have certain external factors like physical attraction and social status and whatnot play a role in that. I feel like at the end of the day, it's a personal thing, and it's the premium that each individual places on things like physical attributes, social standing or social status, financial security, and the opinion of society. Is the premium that you place on those external factors that will determine for you as an individual whether or not love is blind. But whether you feel love is blind or if you feel love isn't blind, just make sure you pick the right person, the person that you connect with in a dating context or in a marriage context. Pick someone that you feel you can do forever with, and make sure that they're on the same page with you. Anyway, guys, I really enjoyed the show. If you enjoyed the show as well, or if you enjoyed this review, please let me know what your comments are, or what your opinions are rather, in the comment section below. What your opinions are about the show or the things that I've said about this show. If you know anyone who would enjoy this video, please share the video with them by clicking on the share feature just underneath the video. You can share via Facebook, via Twitter, or you can copy the link and drop it in a WhatsApp group or two. Let people join in on the conversation. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, subscribe to my channel as well. I have videos like this on relationship topics, and I also have videos on personal finance, which is another thing that I'm actually quite interested in. So please have a look around on, in my catalog of videos to find another video that you may find interesting, especially in these self-isolation and quarantine times. Thank you guys once again so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Take care.